You see, one of the problems I've been having over winter is just how cold it's been getting in my studio, to the point where it's caused a few of my ferments to pretty much halt fermentation. And while I could spend a few $100s on a fancy fermentation chamber, since it would actually make sense for me as I do this for a living, I'm not gonna do that. Instead, I'm gonna show you how I went about creating this fermentation chamber / mini greenhouse where I'm able to maintain an ideal temperature for fermentation for pretty much less than $50. Now, before I get into it though, I should say that this fermentation chamber is only really for keeping ferments warm when it's cold outside. And I've been using this over winter to keep my ferments warm enough to ferment in a reasonable time. So going into this, I knew I wanted something that could hold quite a few ferments of varying sizes. At first, I thought of using a large polystyrene box, as that would be quite good at holding heat, but it really wouldn't be able to hold many ferments, and especially anything very tall. So I did some browsing across AliExpress and found this mini plastic greenhouse that cost me around $20. It had a few options for sizes, but I decided to buy the largest size because I wanted to fit as many ferments in here as possible. So I ordered my greenhouse, but I'm gonna need to put it on something. I could place it on the biggest surface I have in my studio, which would be the ground, but I don't really want to be reaching down and placing things down there. So I made a trip to my local used restaurant supply store to look at commercial kitchen workbenches. On my way there, I was fully prepared to buy something used and clean it up myself, but when I went inside, I found quite possibly the perfect size workbench for the mini greenhouse that I ordered. I will say though, I can't remember exactly which one I purchased first, but what I will say is that everything ended up working out and the mini greenhouse fit perfectly on the workbench. So I loaded up the workbench in the back of my car, which just happened to also fit perfectly, and brought it back to the studio and cleared the perfect spot right next to the fridge. I peeled off all the stickers and wiped off all the factory juices, and then I had to spend just a few minutes leveling this table out because I found out soon after moving into my studio that the floor here is anything but level in some spots. Now, with the workbench level and not shaky anymore, I populated the bottom shelf with the items that were there before, which is nice since now they aren't on the ground. So now I had the workbench and I ordered the mini greenhouse, but it hadn't arrived yet. But what I did do is take this heat mat that I've been using to keep my ferments somewhat warm and place it here for now until the greenhouse arrived. I also ordered this heat mat on AliExpress, and maybe you've started to notice that I find a lot of equipment on AliExpress. It is truly a great place to find quite niche kitchen equipment, like my food press that I thought I would only use once, but I've actually used it now quite a number of times. So this heat mat cost me about $10 on AliExpress, and it's great because it's simple. It has a dial to control heat output, and that's it. Almost nothing to break. I placed that down first, and then I moved some of my ferments on top for the time being until my mini greenhouse arrived, which just happened maybe a week later, in this box that had me a little concerned about the size. Mind you, I measured everything and it's supposed to be a perfect fit. I guess the size of this box just didn't inspire much confidence in me. Regardless, I opened everything up, took everything out, glanced at the instructions, and then promptly threw them to the side and figured it out myself. Granted, it was very simple to put together. The sticks fitted into the connectors and eventually they create this long cube. Then the plastic cover unfolds and slides right over the frame. The nice thing about this greenhouse as well is that there's these Velcro side flaps that make it easier to run wires and cables in and out of it. Now with the mini greenhouse assembled, it's time to make this a temperature controlled environment. But I shall now refer to this as the fermentation chamber. First, I place the heat mat under the fermentation chamber. This way I can keep any wires running in and out to a minimum. I also picked up this mini heater, alas not from AliExpress, but from Coupang, which is like the Amazon of South Korea. Now, why this heater specifically? Well, first off is its size. It's small and it won't take up much pressure space inside the fermentation chamber. And second is that it simply has one flippy switch that keeps it on or off. And this is important because I don't want this switch to ever go off, since I'm going to be hooking this up to something called a thermostat. Now that word might be quite familiar to you, and yes, pretty much all homes with central heating or cooling will have a thermostat on the wall. A thermostat's job is to control any heating or cooling system. Now I'm going to be connecting this mini heater to this thermostat, which will then plug into the power. This thermostat has a temperature probe which will go inside the fermentation chamber and constantly monitor the internal temperature. If that temperature ever drops below the set temperature, the thermostat will turn the power on to the heater until that temperature comes back up to the set temperature, at which point the thermostat will cut the power. And because my mini heater simply has a switch that I can keep on, if the thermostat turns on the power, the heater will turn on with it. I already had this thermostat lying around, but these can also be found online fairly cheap as well. Despite having the heat mat below, I found it wasn't quite strong enough to maintain the temperature I wanted in the fermentation chamber. On top of it, only really heating up the bottom layer of air in the chamber. So I added this heater, and now it's more than enough heating power to keep this chamber at a sensible 24-ish degrees Celsius. So I loaded back up all the ferments that I wanted to keep at a sensible temperature and closed up the fermentation chamber. Now that was almost 3 weeks ago, and this has been performing great. If it's quiet, I can hear the click of the thermostat and the quiet hum of the heater turning on, and then another click about 30 seconds later, followed by that heater powering down. I'm quite happy with how this turned out, and as soon as I added some ferments that were struggling in the cold studio over the winter, they've sprung right up to life and fermented at a nice, comfortable speed. One thing I didn't think about that is a benefit of this greenhouse type fermentation chamber is that it keeps the smell contained. As a couple of the ferments in there are open top, which means their funky fermentedness can express itself quite freely. And I opened this up the other day to take something out and was hit by a wave of rice wine that is slowly turning into vinegar. And it actually shocked me with how well the smell was contained within. Now I can set this temperature a little bit higher if I want to, although I don't think this will really go much higher than anything in the 30s of degrees Celsius. So I could quite comfortably grow koji or tempeh in there as well. I did end up adding a little fan in here too, just to keep a little airflow. I'm not sure if airflow is really required, but if I was to ferment in there, I feel like I would want a little breeze too. Now I'll probably keep using this setup until the weather inevitably becomes warmer than the inside of the fermentation chamber. But when that time comes, I'll be sure to be back with another fermentation chamber video with a fermentation chamber that does the opposite of this chamber and can keep things cooler in a hotter climate. So I won't be providing links for the products used in this video. I'm not here to profit off of my mini greenhouse and tiny heaters. Besides, I live in South Korea, and if I were to link this stuff, they wouldn't be able to ship outside of Korea. Instead, this was to sort of show you what sort of equipment you should be searching for if you want to create something similar. So if you enjoyed this video, drop a like, and if you haven't already, consider subscribing for more fermentation content in the future. And of course, if you have any suggestions, go ahead and leave them in the comments below, and it could be a future video. But with that said, I'll see you in the next video.